You used the phrase, unlawful polygamist. Is there such a thing as a lawful polygamist?
Yes, but it's rare. If the act of consensual intercourse were to become so burdensome to a lawfully married woman that she'd rather let her husband marry a second wife than to continue having consensual intercourse, then there is nothing unlawful about her giving him permission to marry a second wife. If they are under Gentile civil law that forbids polygamy, then she should write him an apostasia. She must make this important decision entirely on her own though, because it's a commitment to be celibate. There must not be any pressure whatsoever by her husband. There is one other type of lawful polygamist that I should mention, since we are under Gentile civil law.
What's that?
If a man is lawfully married to a daughter of the devil, because she takes advantage of the leniency of Gentile civil law, by committing unprovoked adultery without repenting, then he can become a lawful polygamist. Unprovoked adultery occurs when a man does not provoke his wife's adultery by causing harm to her body, such as physically abusing her, cheating on her, or depriving her of basic necessities needed to live. Under Jewish civil law, unprovoked adultery is a capital crime. Both the adulterer and the adulteress who are committing unprovoked adultery without repenting are punished with death by execution. Since God the Father would not hold such a Jewish victim accountable for the failure of Gentile civil law to enforce capital punishment, it would be lawful for him to take a second wife in polygamy. If he's under Gentile civil law that forbids polygamy, then he should ask his adulterous wife to write him an apostasia. Make sure a polygamist is not a lawful polygamist before you assume his second spouse is on your list of marriage candidates. If you were to date the second spouse of a lawful polygamist, then you would be coveting another man's wife.
I'll be certain to use this righteous judgment concerning which second spouses of polygamists are on the list of marriage candidates that God the Father approves of me dating. There is only one more category of women I need to ask about in order to fully understand the will of God the Father on dating.
Which category is that?
The woman who has divorced her lawfully married husband by writing him an apostasia and keeping a certified copy for herself. Does God the Father approve of me honoring the lawfully married woman's apostasia for the purpose of dating her?
Absolutely not. Once a man has lawfully married a woman without an issue of fornication being immediately raised, it doesn't matter if he divorces her or she divorces him. Every other man who marries her will be committing adultery every time he becomes one flesh with her while her husband is alive. Never honor the apostasia of a lawfully married woman by dating her. This is the sin of coveting another man's wife.
But what if she had a good reason to divorce him? What if she wrote her lawfully married husband the apostasia because he rapes her, physically abuses her, cheats on her, abandons her, starves her, or throws her and their children out into the streets? Then may I date her?
No. It doesn't matter how wicked her husband has been. She should seek shelter when she is in danger, of course, but she is still bound to him for as long as he lives. This means that he has an obligation to love her. Don't be a yellow-bellied coward. We must rebuke any son of the devil who refuses to love his lawfully married wife. Never covet her while he is alive.
What if her lawfully married husband is the world's most wicked man ever? I have to keep rebuking him? Are you sure there is no possibility whatsoever of God the Father giving me approval to honor the lawfully married woman's apostasia for the purpose of dating her?
I'm sure. Congratulations. You know the entire will of God the Father on dating. Remember that his son Joshua will return to this world to take his betrothed virgin wife, his church, to the great wedding feast. Until that day, the standard of righteousness that he taught will not change. Always rebuke the son of the devil, but never covet his lawfully married wife.
Thank you.
You're welcome.